on time. Woo! Good morning. Running around trying to get a good workout in, breakfast. We have a big event going on in Kadena tomorrow, so trying to get some stuff together. So glad I made it. Wow. Literally in the nick of time. Probably saw me if you're watching on YouTube. I just came flying into the seat as we were getting going. 78.6 FM, positive vibes with Winsome. Oh, man, I'm so glad to be here. Oh, let me catch my breath. Just kidding. Hey, guys, I'm so excited to be back on the air today. So much going on this week and so much I wanted to share. So much I'm excited about, so much that's changing, so many new opportunities, so many new great, I guess you can say, lessons learned over this week. So one of the things, I'm taking swim lessons now. So if you remember, maybe a year ago or so, I was telling a story about the guy who had the dreams of traveling all over the world, right? Remember that? He's traveling all over the world. He wants to go to, he had all kind of lists of it, Australia, Cairo. It was a lot of similar to mine, right? Dubai. He just had a lot of places he wanted to go. He was telling me we're in Europe at the time. We were in Kosovo. What was it, Germany? He had a lot of places he wanted to actually see and experience. So I was like, hey, cool, man. I'm everybody's biggest supporter. I'm a big fan. When people have big dreams, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So I asked him one question. Remember that? I said, do you have your passport? And he just had this face like everything just came flooding out of his body. All the excitement just left. And I was like, man, that sucks. You have all these dreams, visions, and goals, but you haven't taken that first step. So we let it go, right? I helped him. We both got our passports at the same time. Went over to the embassy that week. It was like maybe 4 days in Kosovo. We were able to get our passports back. It was really cool. I traveled a lot of the world. He traveled a lot of the world. We connected on stories. Cordell, hey, man, just wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. This is always about him, and it's always cool to share with people. Well, I had a similar adventure. My adventure happened, and if you guys didn't know, and I want to make sure I'm saying it right, I believe you pronounced it, thalassophobia is the fear of open water, right? Thalassophobia is that guy or gal who, when we're on the water, even in a little boat, or especially if we're on the water without a boat, we're picturing in our minds all of the horrible things in the water that are looking back at us or up at us or about to get us. Like it's the worst thing to happen if you're trying to be on open water. The worst fear to find out is one of those phobias that, some people have. And I'm that guy. So, I'm looking for sharks in the waves. I'm looking for what's the big giant underneath that's going to pull me down. Like that's where my mind goes when I'm on the open water. So I had two fears coming to Okinawa. The first one was heights, right? Now you see me ziplining all the time. Now, I'm not going to do nothing crazy like jump out of a plane, but at least I'm facing my fears. That was the one fear I had. Second one was fear of open water. So I'm out in a kayak. That's my first way to face it. I'm going to get out there in this little kayak. I see as soon as I'm on a kayak, Facebook likes to throw all these videos out there, right? Of whales knocking people off kayaks, big creatures underneath the kayak. I mean, the worst things is the worst time. Do not mention something you enjoy doing into your phone if you don't expect to see a video that is going to demotivate you, right? So I'm out there on the kayak, and now I'm taking friends. I'm having so much fun on the open water, on even smaller than a boat. I'm on this little kayak. So I'm enjoying life. Next level, of course, if you progress, is going to be, let me get off this kayak and get in the water. You start in the shallow end, start working your way over. Ultimately, in your mind, I want to snorkel. So, okay, cool, snorkeling. So you're comfortable with that. So then you progress some more, right? Progressively moving forward. Okay, now let me see what I can do with scuba. Now, scuba was cool. They say if you're going to do a scuba certification, this is the best place to do it. I've heard this from maybe 20 people. If you're going to get your scuba certification, you're getting over your fear of open water, this Okinawa is the best place to do it. So I'm like, man, I'm facing my fears with the fear of heights. I went ahead and did the zip lining to get over that fear over high areas. I'm challenging myself consistently. I'm looking at, I'm getting more window seats when I'm flying, right? So to conquer that fear of thalassophobia, if I'm saying it correctly, conquer that one, I'm going to get my scuba certification so I can get in there and see what's looking back at me, get over that fear, right? So I sign up. I go to the place where here in Okie folks are screaming about, hey, sign up here. You can do the online training. Then you get out there in the water. You can knock all this out. So I'm like, cool, piece by piece, right? I'm facing that fear. I'm getting over myself, right? And craziest thing, I'm there signing up. I pay. I come back. I had finished teaching. So this is how my day went. I was teaching all day. And I get out of class, and then I'm running to the scuba place, signing up, sizing the gear up, rent my gear, had paid for the class. And as I'm walking to the car, full of smiles, and I'm just cheesing. I'm like, man, I'm about to do this. This is really about to happen. And tomorrow is the meet and greet. The coach catches me. And the diving coach, diving certified instructor, he comes and says, hey, come here, man. I said, hey, brother, I just want to ask you. He just said, I can't make this up. Remember what I told you about the passport and travel? He said, so you ready to get in the water? I said, yeah, man, I'm excited. You know, I've been really just facing my fears. He's like, cool. Do you know how to swim? Hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm 44 years old. And the one thing that I've never had to do was swim. I've always been that guy at the pool that can bounce in the bottom, hang on to the side. You know, even when I take my kids hanging out in the shallow end. Never been a guy who's had to worry about or focus on swimming techniques. So I thought that was good enough because, right, we got the floaties on the vest, the gear that's going to carry me, the little flippers. I thought I didn't need to have the skills to get in the water. I just need to have the gear. This is what my mind was telling me without doing the full research. And he was like, nah, brother, check this out. In order to get your certification, you're going to need to be able to swim back and forth in the pool 4 times, right? Something I can't do without stopping. He said, then, on top of that, you're going to need to be able to tread water for like 10 minutes. Wait, time out. Tread water, what's tread water, right? He says, that's when you got to be afloat on top of the water for 10 minutes. See, have you ever done that before? I was like, nah, I've never done that before, right? So I'm thinking in my head, how hard can it be? All 16, 15, 14 people, whatever, signed up for this. Not everybody in here is a great swimmer, right? So I called my friends who were hyping me up to go get signed up, right? And I'm like, hey, man, you guys know how to swim, like doing the lanes 4 times back and forth? And every one of them, nah. We're really good swimmers. We didn't even think about that, but we didn't want to scare you from, not getting your certification. Time out. So you knew I would have to swim 4 laps. And yeah. What about the treading water? Can you guys tread water for 10 minutes? And then 2 or 3 of the friends hyped me up. Was like, yeah, man, that was the hardest part, was being able to tread water. They went with the same instructor. And I'm like, guys, this is stuff you need to tell me. Like, I'm thinking I'm jumping in, the gear is doing all the work. But there's work that I'm going to have to do. And I'm good with it, right? So one of my mentors here, Mr. G, you guys have seen him on the show all the time. Love him. He's a master diver. We share stories about his scuba experiences. He's one of the folks who really has me motivated to get my scuba certification. And he tells me, he says, Winsome, you know what? We're going to get in that pool. He said, we're going to get in that pool. Let's line up some dates, and we're going to get in there. We're going to learn how to swim. Now, ego, right? I'm going to tell you about ego. My ego is like, I'm a grown man. I ain't trying to be in there with them kids floating around looking crazy, everybody judging me because I don't know how to swim. That's what the ego initially does. I took a quick step back, and I said, you know what, Mr. G, let's do it. Get out of my own head, get over myself, and understand not only am I learning how to swim for me, but when I know how to swim and I'm getting scuba and I'm learning all of these skills, when I go back to the United States, I can teach these things to my kids. You see, what you're teaching me, nobody ever taught me. So I can take these lessons and go and give them to someone else, my babies, make them better than me. You see, a lot of times we don't take that moment to step back, get over ourselves, get out of our own head, and we allow our ego to take over. And there's a lot of friends that I have like that, constantly talking to them. And I can't tell you to get over yourself if I'm not doing it myself. So we got in the pool the first time, me and Mr. G. He's real patient, One of the kindest people I've ever met in my life, man. Step by step, right? The first thing, you got to get in the water to see how comfortable you are, under the water, right? Just a little bit, and that was cool. Then you kick your feet. That was the next step. Then kicking your feet, we're going to use a little floating device to see if you can stay afloat, because I naturally, being the way my diet is set up, I naturally don't float. So I need to have practice and being able to float, move my feet, move my hands. The littlest thing, the smallest details, like instead of moving my hands up and cupping my hands, those little things that he was showing me during the first lesson. And it was a workout. Let me tell y'all something. If you've taken swimming lessons, I'm sure you understand this. But if you've never taken swim lessons, if you've never been serious about getting into swimming, like that is a full body workout, man. So Monday, I took my last PT test of my career, my last physical fitness test of my military career. And then the same night, I'm in a pool. Listen to me when I say, the same night, I'm in a pool learning the basics of how to swim. And then we timed it. How long could I tread water after everything he told me? And my first time out was 30 seconds. My body was shot. When I tell you I was ready to collapse and go straight to sleep when I got home, after my shower, of course, I passed out. Poor Scooby, I know I fed him and I know I let him out, but I don't even remember it because I was so tired that night, right? But let me tell you, it's so rewarding to know that I'm trying to face those fears, that I'm taking those steps. So then the second lesson we had, this was just last night, can't make this up. Second lesson, we're in the pool, and he's, all right, let's see what you learn. So I'm pushing off the wall now, and we're doing different drills and skills. I didn't even realize how far I glided from the wall, and I'm swimming, doing the basic steps. I was able to alternate from the swimming that I was doing to flip to my back and keep myself afloat. It's just the craziest step build up, and I forgot how beautiful it is. I forgot how beautiful your mind is, how beautiful the body is, and when they're both working together, how amazing we are as creatures. So I'm loving it. I can't wait to be in there with the gear on, but the steps leading to it, the story along the way, and the people who've been supporting me and pushing me, I love you guys for it, and I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful. I know it's not going to be easy, especially starting from scratch. It's not like it was when I was a kid. I can't survive. There's no rails to hang on to. This is me, the water, my body, my mind, and I got to make it happen. But I have people in my corner who are helping me build those skills. So if I haven't said it publicly enough, thank you for those in my life that believe in me, that encourage me, that are always consistent, kind, caring, understanding, because I know I'm not perfect. And I'm so excited. This is one of the few things going on in Winsome's world, right? I definitely want to share with everybody because that's really exciting to me. It may seem small for you if you've been swimming your whole life, but imagine being 44 and learning for the first time, right? And it's cool because it proves my point when I'm talking about anti-fragility and I'm talking about neuroplasticity, how our bodies and minds can learn new things, especially our minds can learn new things and pick up on it. Because the second time, I was a lot more comfortable than the first time. I'm going to talk about some of the other cool things going on in this universe, right? My universe, and I love sharing that with you, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Win some, you lose some. What is it, still standing? You win some, you lose some podcast. We dropped an episode a few weeks back. Going to drop another one this weekend. Getting the swim lessons, second one. Going to be pushing out there a lot more next week. This show, I'm so excited to be back in the booth. It's been about 2 weeks from here. We got a lot going on all around camp, all over Okinawa we've been a part of as far as the radio show. I heard back from Fearless Motivation. Yesterday, got some cool news from them of what we can and can't do with their music. Just a lot of great things. And I'm going to tell you even more when we get back. A lot of blessings, a lot of great people, a lot of great opportunities. And the best part is we're just getting started. Let's go. 78.6 FM, positive vibes with Winsome. It's another Saturday here in the booth, and I can't wait to share more about this journey with you as soon as we get back from that mandatory break after these messages. Be right back. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. So excited to be back. Oh, man. Before the break, I was telling a story about how I was that guy, wanted to jump in the water and do the scuba thing, facing my fears of thalassophobia. And I got out there and realized that if you don't know the basic swimming skills, you can't just jump in here and put the gear on, right? It's the things your friends don't tell you when they tell you to go sign up. So questions to be asked, things you need to learn. The moral of the story is you need to know exactly what steps you need to take to get to the goals you're trying to achieve. I think a lot of us don't do that. We just jump out there. There's so many stories I can tell you in my own personal life, and then from coaching and mentoring people, some of the things that they skip, and then when they get to that opportunity, that piece is missing. So what happens when that piece is missing, that the opportunity that you have to show up, you're not complete. You're not ready for it. You know, say if you get ready, you don't have to. You stay ready, you don't have to be ready. And a lot of times when we're missing those pieces, we're not ready. And for me, that was the perfect example I gave. That's a true story going on right now. Me working on my scuba cert, but I need the basics in swimming. Being able to tread water for up to 10 minutes. Being able to swim 4 laps. Doesn't matter how you swim, you just got to make it. So all of these things, man, I joked, again, I teased my brother from a year ago, the story I shared with you about all the dreams in the world to circle the world but don't have a passport. Similar stories, similar pains, and I'm excited about this journey. And guess what? I'm going to make it happen. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. Today, talking about just exactly that, man. Chasing your dreams, chasing your goals, some of the beautiful things that are happening for our Positive Vibes radio show, for the podcast team, for the Team Kadena team, just some amazing things. Tomorrow on Kadena Air Base is the Mental Health Awareness Walk, and I'll be emceeing that. Really cool opportunity. Me and my little sis, Belen Rico, she's my co-MC. I might be her co-MC. Who knows at the end of the day when it comes to dealing with that knucklehead. But the point is, we'll be out there trying to motivate others who are going to be doing the Mental Health Awareness Walk. This is, of course, to recognize Mental Health Awareness Month. This month, there's individuals out there who suffer with mental health issues, and there's others who have survived them. So we want to honor everyone during this month. This is an opportunity for us to do something to give back. One of the functions and activities that we're doing for the month of Mental Health Awareness Month. Second, right, is this month, the end of this month, I'll be going to the headquarters Philippine Air Force to teach. Really excited about this second opportunity to go back. We have a really cool partnership that we're forming with them. That is the, the exchange program. So I'll be going there, and then later on in the year, one of their training instructor teammates is going to come here and get to shadow our programs and see what we do. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait for the end of this month. One of the things that I have not, I kind of keep it, I'll share with these folks here and whoever's watching on Facebook, but the end of June, I had an invite to the CSS Inspire Conference in Maxwell, Alabama. And a lot of people are like, what does that mean, man? You're going to a conference. Cool. No, I have an opportunity to speak life into, I believe, up to 350 individuals of all ranks, male, female, to be able to speak life into them for 3 days straight, 3 different lessons. So I know we're going to talk about some really cool things, 2 of my favorite lessons as well. Yeah, I can't wait for that opportunity. These things are just, it's a blessing. I can't tell you in words how excited I am for all of this to play out. It's been an amazing year so far. So many goals, team goals and individual goals have been achieved. So many things that I didn't see happening this year have already happened, and we're just getting out of the second quarter soon, right? February, March, April, May, June, I had to do the math in my head. Yeah, we're in the middle of the second quarter. We haven't even started, really. And we're already moving out on a lot of really cool things. First quarter is really about building. Second quarter is getting them moving. Third quarter is going to be a lot about trying to reset and focus on those individual personal goals that I had for the year, because I'm so close to retirement that I'm like, I need to make sure I take care of these things. There's a list of those for myself that I have out there for that third quarter. And I'll tell you, it's not easy when you're taking care of others. remembering to take care of yourself. And I'll say that again, it's not easy for us caretakers, right? We're always taking care of others, so we have to make sure that we're finding time to take care of ourselves. And for me, I'm trying to live that. I teach it, I coach it. So I'm trying to live that as well. And if I'm not doing that, then it's what I call being inconsistent. I can't tell you one thing and live something completely different. And I try not to be that kind of person, that kind of leader, that kind of friend. I'm trying to be consistent about everything I do. Some really great opportunities to coach, teach, over at different centers, different classes, different squadrons. Me and my brother Joe are out teaching all over right now. A lot of personal growth lessons. This month is really important to us because this month we're out here teaching about, the importance of mental health, self-care, emotional intelligence, and all of these important things. I don't know, I need some water. I didn't bring any water in here with me, so forgive me if you hear me. It's nothing, I ain't got no cold or anything like that. I just need to get some water during the break. But the one thing I want to tell you is you matter. And I'm going to say this again for those who in the back who don't hear me. You matter. Taking care of yourself, being the best version of yourself. Who you are, what you're doing every day, what you're doing with your life, what you're doing with your goals, your vision, who you're trying to be. You matter. And if nobody's told you that in a while, if you haven't told yourself that in a while, this is a great opportunity for me to tell you your goals matter. Your vision matters. Your story matters. Your presence matters. Everything about you is important. Everything about you is unique. It's beautiful. You are one of one. An amazing creation. A beautiful creation. Live that. Remember that. Don't let anyone tell you different. There's a lot of people that we go through our days and we forget that. We forget how powerful we are. We forget how many things we've overcome, how many battles we've won. And you can't. I really need to get some water in here. That's on me in the next break. But you got to make sure you pay attention to the battles you've won, the accomplishments you've had, because when you're able to be grateful for those things, when something comes at you, obstacles, something to throw you off course, it can't shift you. It can't change you because you're grateful for what you have. You're not too focused on what you don't have or what you don't have yet. And you're able to take that energy into what you have and use it. And when you're able to harness that, when you're able to highlight that and showcase that, and when you believe that and your mindset is, I am more than this, that's a game changer. For a lot of people, they get stuck in the what ifs. Oh gosh, I can tell you all year I've been talking to friends that are, what if I would have did this? What if I could do this? What if I should do this? The what ifs will always have you wondering. But the key is to learn how to be in the present. Present-minded. Being in presence meaning not just I'm here, this is what's happening, this is here right now. No, being in the present meaning this is what's in front of me. And this is what I have right now. This is what's in me. And these are my abilities, my gifts, my strengths. This is what I have right now. You grow from that each day. Those what ifs. Remember what I told you about a year ago? You keep looking back, you're hurting your neck. You keep looking at what you can't see quite yet, you're forming anxiety. Looking back about the what ifs, that's depression. Focusing on I'm not sure what's coming, that's anxiety. A lot of people as well right now that don't realize they're doing it, they're exhibiting a lot of imposter syndrome. If you guys don't know what imposter syndromes, I definitely recommend you guys Google that and see if you hit any of those points. But I'm going to tell you, being in places, doing things, and being someone that you're not really sure you deserve. Something that you've earned, but you don't really feel you've earned it. Getting positions, getting chances, and feeling like you got lucky versus you work for it. These are real feelings and thoughts that people float around with all the time. And I know friends of mine that struggle with these. So I'm so blessed and I'm so excited to have opportunities throughout the Mental Health Awareness Month to go out and shed love, speak life into people, and remind them, you are a powerful being. You are a force. You are a beautiful energy. You got this. Stop doubting yourself. Get out of your head. Remember why you started. Stop looking back. Pay attention to what's in front of you. Be present. Stop looking too far ahead. Get away from that anxiety. Stop struggling on what you said wrong yesterday. Focus on what you can do right and say right today. You see those little things that we forget because we get so caught up in all the craziness around us and the busyness, and we forget to kind of gently nudge ourselves back to where we are and say, you know what, I got this. Why did I allow that to knock me off track, distract me? You don't have to. You don't have to give things power that don't deserve it. 78.6 FM, positive vibes, and when I'm talking about moving forward, learning the lessons, applying the lessons, coming back stronger, avoiding anxiety and depression, putting ourselves in depressive states. We're talking about getting past imposter syndrome, how to beat imposter syndrome. You earned it. You got it. It's your turn, your time. How to make sure you have all the tools built, all the little pieces, so when your opportunity comes, it doesn't pass you and you are ready for it. You worked for it. You studied. You did all the work. And now it's your time. I told you, swimming techniques. I got to get one piece at a time before I put that diving suit on. I can't just put it on. I got to work for it. It's the same thing in anything and everything you're trying to achieve in life. You have to know what steps to take and work for it. 78.6 FM, positive vibes in Winsome. We'll be right back after this break. .6 FM, positive vibes with Winsome. And guess who has water? Better now. Went down the wrong tube. Hey, check this out, man. I am so excited to be back with you guys today. I've been talking about some really cool stuff that's been on my mind, and some really cool stuff to talk to you about. But with that being said, man, it's where we are in 2023. Just take a look back at where you started in January and where you are right now in May. Yeah, let me make sure I'm getting my dates right. Yeah, that's May 6th. We're already almost halfway through the year. Remember how you started? Remember your motivation, your energy, why you wanted to get through this year, what you wanted to accomplish, who you wanted to be, where you wanted to go, what you wanted to achieve. May 2023. What have you done so far? What's left on your list? What have you already accomplished? What's been distracting you from getting those things done? Who's been distracting you? What are those people, places, and things, right, that are keeping you from doing what you wanted to do with your 2023? I tell you guys this often, my number one value is time. Once I realized that time is fleeting, and that's that one thing you can't get back. It's time. Time with people you love, time with the things you love to do, time at being around, time in certain places. That time, I've watched it go by. And I know you can't get that back. So what are you doing with yours? Who are you sharing it with? What are you spending it on? Is it worth it? What are you investing it in? We talk about time. Another thing that's really important to understand is, what is your why? Me and Mr. G come in here and talk about it, but you start really digging back and having conversations with people, you understand that the reason why their flame doesn't shine all the time, or flame doesn't burn all the time, it's kind of flickering, is because their why that they thought was their why isn't really their why. Their motivations are temporary motivations. What are you doing it all for? The things that you listed in January is things you wanted to accomplish. Why did you want to accomplish those things? What was your goal? What was the end game? What was the purpose? Was it just a temporary boost, adrenaline rush, dopamine rush? Was it something that was just meant to make you feel good temporarily, or was it something that was going to be meaningful, cause a shift in your life? Because that's what you really want. You don't want something that's just a temporary boost. You're looking for those things in your life that are going to give you a shift. Change things in the direction in a course that you want your life to go in. I was listening to, I want to say is Matthew McConaughey, The Art of Living, with an N and apostrophe at the end. And I know he's surrounded by a team of very experienced motivational speakers, international speakers endorsed by Oprah in some cases and other folks. But I'm going to tell you, it was probably the coolest thing to watch. Not because it was like all inspiring and changed my life and I just want to be a new guy when I finish. No. Not at all. It was a cool delivery. And when you kind of peel back the science of how they did the whole show and the explanation they used and the way they broke it down and the way they presented it, it was really cool. It was like a little mini play, right? And everyone had a role. Everyone, you could tell when everyone pitched in and put things together, and watching the team make this happen for, I believe it was 2 million plus people that showed up for this. And I woke up early for it. It was like 1 a.m. here in Japan. And I was like, I want to see, and I usually don't. Listen to me. If you know me, you know I stay away from watching other motivational speakers, presenters. I don't want to ever find myself getting trapped into mimicking anyone. But in this case, I was curious. It's Matthew McConaughey. He's an actor. What's he about to come in here and tell? Is he about to change lives, change the world, shift the planet off its axis? What are we about to happen? So I watched, and it was cool. It was fun to see Matthew McConaughey's energy. It was fun to see the work he put into the message, the presentation, beating on the drums, talking, the music playing in the background. You can tell when something kind of caught him off guard too, about his, because it's this reaction. Everything was so natural and fluid. It was fun to watch a really cool actor presenting some really cool points to some folks who probably really needed to hear it. And although I might have needed any of those 10 points for myself, there might be someone who I'm coaching, teaching, motivating, or encouraging that week that needed to hear something from what he was sharing with all the folks listening in. So I thought it was really cool. I also thought it was very incredibly creative. So if you haven't seen it, and if it's still accessible, The Art of Living, I know they say they only did it one time, but all these moneymakers folks do that. They say, hey, we're only going to do it once, but then they drop little samples of other stuff. then it's a road show, and then it's something else. So the point is, if that is accessible to you, it's really cool. Listen, I'm not soliciting and marketing it for or anything. I just thought it was very creative, and I learned the creative aspect of what was delivered. And I say all that to say this. There's nothing he said that shifted me. Nothing he said that knocked me off my axis. But I learned from it. There was still something I was able to take away. Now, based on my experience, would I be pulled to jump on another one if he did it? No, I would not wake up again at 1 o'clock in the morning if that was what I was going to get, right? Or similar to it, I want more. No, I know something's going to move me and charge me up. But listen to me, that's like our goals that we set at the beginning of the year. I didn't do it, but I don't really have the same charge or energy to do it because it wasn't something that you really needed to shift your life. It was something that you said you wanted to do, but wasn't a game changer. It wasn't something that was value driven, likely. Maybe exciting, maybe like a trip or a fitness goal or something that probably could be life changing, but it didn't move you. And I don't think people realize this. When we make these decisions, and it has to be value-based, right? And it has to be, this is important to me because when we can do that with these goals and plans that we set, and I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions, New Year's plans. I'm talking about just where you're at from January and where you're at in May, and what have you actually been able to stick to. And I guarantee you the things that you were able to accomplish and do are because those things meant something to you. They truly meant something to you. Those are potential to shift different things in your life, change something, move you in a direction of your life you really wanted to be in. For people who are in school that I know, those are those classes that you said, I'm really going to knock these out because I want to be done by X date, right? For those people that are saving money because they want to buy a house, I'm not spending because I really want this for my family and for my future. When it moves you, when it's value-based, when it's something that you really, truly need and want because it does something to you when you complete it and you know how it's going to feel, how special, how incredible it's going to feel. The reason why the fitness, unless you've replaced some other vice with the gym, fitness may not last. I'll tell you, there are a lot of people right now in these gyms who they have replaced some of the negative vices that are in their lives with the gym. The gym has become their new habit. And you have to do that when you really care about something. You have to make it your new habit. You have to want it. And as much as like the last 2 Saturdays, I've wanted to be in this room. The issue wasn't that I didn't want to be here bad enough. It was where I'm trying to go for not only just show, but for everything I'm trying to do with my future. Pulled me back to the other side of this island where I couldn't be here. And you know I love talking to you guys. This is my outlet for the week. You hear what I'm saying? This is me. This is my vice. Being in the booth. 78.6 FM Yo Mi Tan, positive vibes of Winsome. This segment, I talked about one of the experiences I had watching and waking up early for the art of living and how it didn't really pull me in any certain direction. It didn't shift my life off its axis. It didn't do anything spectacular, but I still was able to pull away some of the creative ways they delivered the messages, which for me, as a person who enjoys speaking life into people, I thought that was amazing. I was like, never thought about that. Think about that. 5 well-polished motivational speakers helping a very famous and very fun and likable actor take these messages and deliver them to his fans and the people who probably see him the same way, if not different and similar than I do. Someone who I probably just can chop it up having a margarita with on the beach, just talking to me about life, right? That's the kind of conversation it was. It was cool. Another thing I pulled away from that, it wasn't just him, it was his team. He had a whole team of people that were able to keep everything online, right? So you can log into that bad boy from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, wherever platform you were using. I think I was using, what is the not Facebook, it's the Zoom, right? Wherever you were logging in from, There were people on each one of those platforms making it happen. And then the team that helped them write all those things, come up with the points, practice the script, go over it to make sure it's presented correctly. And then it was, I believe, a 6-hour event. Let me tell you something. I do events all the time. But a 6-hour event to keep momentum is next to impossible. That's one of those, you're going to have to break me down a 30-minute version. I need to remix this and give me the best points only. That's what 6 hours. I'm going to tell you, once Matthew got off the first time, I was done. I was like, nah, I'm okay. I'm not really here to see Tony Robbins again. I'm not really here to see, I forget the female speaker that was endorsed by Oprah. I'm not really here to see them. I just came to see what Matthew McConaughey brought to the table. It was very interesting. So I encourage you, if you have time and if it's free and available for you, go check out the clips. Some pretty cool messages if you never heard them. I can't even take credit for saying that if I repeated them on the air, it'd be something that I hadn't said in the past, because it wasn't anything mind-blowing. It was common sense stuff that some people may just needed to hear and be reminded of, which was cool. So thank you for that experience, for the team behind there, and thank you for what I learned and took away. I'm really excited to implement that with whatever I do next, whatever I'm building right now. So thank you, and arigato gozaimasu, as we would say here in Okinawa. So 78.6 FM Yomitan, positive vibes will win some. What's next? This for me, I'm playing catch up, man. I'm really just throwing out there to you guys all the cool things we have coming up. Right, tomorrow I'll be emceeing with my teammate Belen, the mental health awareness walk. Right, coming up we have a couple of trips that we're going to be traveling and speaking to some teams, speaking life into some folks, some really cool lessons. The undervalued art of self-care is one of the lessons I'm really proud of that we just created, or should I say recreated, that I'll be taking to some of these trips with me. There's an Airmen for Life program that probably twice a day for a couple of days throughout the week for the next couple of weeks. I'll be teaching and speaking life into some folks. And then, of course, the trip to Manila to teach with the headquarters Philippine Air Force. And then going back to the U.S. to the Inspire Conference, 300 plus, be able to speak life into them. The opportunities are one thing, but the heart is another. And I'm so blessed and grateful that whoever is behind the invitations and even keeping our team in mind sees our hearts. Because every single day, we're thinking of different ways to take care of people, to build programs that inspire, educate, and motivate others. Educate, mentor, coach, motivate, and listen to me, inspire is what we do. So I'm so proud to be a part of the team that I am. I'm so grateful for FM Yomitan, 78.6 FM, these opportunities to speak life into people here, and just always from the heart, not scripted. Sometimes I might have some bullet points, but it's always from the heart. Thank them for allowing me to get in here at the last moment today. Next week, I promise to be on the road a lot sooner, away from the other side of the island, to get here and speak life back into this microphone. Positive vibes are winsome. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you next week.